everyone doing today? Have you started your Christmas shopping? Have you gotten nice and fat off of Thanksgiving meals? Huh? How is everyone doing today? You know, I'm solo today. And it's all because of the fact that, well, let's be real. A lot of things going on. Steve is traveling for work today. It's a bye week. So we didn't need necessarily do a full on, you know, pod and everything else. And at the same time, Dev, we need to issue him a round of congratulations. Dev became a grandfather again today. One of his kids had a baby girl that was born today. Dev may be joining us later on, but as of right now, if you're in the chat, please put up your congratulations to Dev being a father or grandfather again. He ain't gonna be a daddy anymore, but he is a grandfather again. Um, so if he comes aboard later on, I'll let him tell you a little bit more about all that. But nonetheless, congratulations to one big Dev, the Pyrex God, as you know him on Twitter, among other things. SP jumps in and says, "Congrats." I know it's a little bit slow tonight. Thursday nights are always a little slower. Everybody's watching Thursday night football, and it's a bye week and all that. So we're just gonna talk a little bit of news. I'm gonna have a little fun. I'm just gonna sit here and just talk about whatever pops in my mind. So let's actually talk football to start, since this is a primarily football driven podcast. But we'll get into some of the other stuff that we like to get into as well. So in NFL news, we actually had, hold on one second, actually. I'm setting something up for later. But anyway, we have some news. So right now, there is a vacant head coaching position at the University of North Carolina. And there is a specific name that has come up in that discussion, and I think it's a very interesting one. And that is going to be one. To be one before I spoil it. Steve on the road says salute. You start on non-CTP time. That's because I have a 10-minute intro that allows me to start on time, technically speaking. Safe travels to you, Steve. If you want to jump in and get the opportunity, you can do so off your phone. You know how to get in as well. But anyway, what I want to discuss first, just a little bit of a touch base on some random football news, is that Bill Belichick is in talks for the vacant position at the University of North Carolina as their next head coach. I thought Belichick was done for good. I mean, if you consider everything he's done in football and all the championships he's won, what left does he have to prove? What left does he have to do? And apparently, he's looking to go into the college ranks. So what happened is that Mac Brown was fired on the 26th. North Carolina just has not had a good run recently in terms of their win-loss record. And Belichick interviewed for the job on actually sometime here recently. I didn't have a date on it yet as when that happened. But apparently he was very interested in it. He blew away school officials in the interview. He does have a lack of college experience, and Belichick is 72 years old. People think that he would want to have an NFL job, but who knows? Maybe because he dominated the NFL for so long that he may want to go take on a challenge in college, see what happens, see what new challenges he can take on. But at the same time, I mean, he's 72 years old. He's got money like Jesus? Doesn't he have a wife or a girlfriend that's like less than half his age? Shouldn't he be popping the Cialis and giving it to her in his spare time? He makes all this money as a commentary guy, and as an insider and an expert and whatever labels they give these guys. I don't know. I do find it interesting. I do find it interesting that you know of all the people to be looking at a college position, you know, Bill Belichick looking to go to North Carolina. I don't know if he'll be nearly as successful there as he was in New England. I feel like New England was a case of all the right pieces in all the right places. But nonetheless, I thought that was interesting. I thought that was definitely an interesting bit of news that came across the wire today. Now, moving on. Something that's another bit of football news. It's in the college ranks. A little more related to recent Washington history. Eric Bieniemy, a name that still comes up every now and then, has a lot of defenders in the Washington fan base. People who say that if Eric Bieniemy had not been had not been given Sam Howell or whatever, that he'd have just as good as a record as Cliff Kingsbury does right now, running with Jaden Daniels. I tend to disagree with that one. And well, this kind of bolsters my view on that. UCLA fired offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy today after one season, and he's already got a replacement in the Indiana quarterbacks coach and co-offensive coordinator Tino Sinceri has agreed to replace Bieniemy after the college football playoff. The Bruins were 126th nationally amongst FBS teams in scoring 18.4 points per game. Had nation's 5th worst rushing attack. Oh, that sounds familiar. An Eric Bieniemy offense that doesn't run the ball well. Where have we seen that before? The interesting thing is that Indiana losing coaches. This is going to be a problem for them. Because they just launched forward. Now, I'm a Kurt Signetti guy. I always mispronounce his last name unless I read it. So Kurt Signetti is the head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers, and they just blew up this year, looking so great. Steve says, "It's around Derek Schmienemy." Yes, we're talking about him. But Kurt Signetti, who is the head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers, is a JMU guy. He's the guy who completed JMU's ascendancy from an FCS or an FCS powerhouse to being an FBS team that has done really well for itself. I didn't like the fact that as soon as he got one good season in FBS, he was gone. But the money was there. But he was definitely the last of 3 successive coaches that JMU had that really made them rise into a powerhouse, from Mickey Matthews to Mike Houston to Kurt Signetti. But I wonder if losing talented coaches so quickly will hurt Indiana in the long run. Kurt Signetti's done a great job. He wins everywhere he goes. But it'll be interesting to see what happens once we get into next year. We start seeing more recruiting, and we see, can Indiana retain its spot as a new Big Ten powerhouse? Can this guy that's going from Indiana to UCLA do a better job? Tino Sinceri, can he do a better job than Eric Bieniemy? Will Eric Bieniemy ever have a job again? That's another good question. Eric Bieniemy has now failed out as an offensive coordinator with Washington in the NFL and with UCLA in college football. Where does he go now? Does he demote? Does he take a position as a position coach, as an assistant, as an offensive assistant? Does he go back to Kansas City? Does Andy Reid have a spot for him on there? I don't know. That's a good question, and that doesn't have an answer. We're not going to have an answer for probably a couple more months. But nonetheless, I do think that this is interesting. And those of us who believe that Eric failed as an offensive coordinator because of Eric screwed Eric, this is further proof of that. If he was really as good as people say he was and that just circumstances hurt him, you would think that you have seen results elsewhere when he goes to UCLA, which for all intents and purposes, I mean, it's a middling football school right now, has been for a while. But you're out in California, you're a huge school, you have a rich athletic tradition, you should be able to recruit some talent. But just the X's and O's and the game playing just isn't there. Just not there. So I don't know. If you're an Eric Bieniemy fan, I'm sorry, but that's your bad news here. On the social media front with our fan base. All right, I'm going to preface this by saying George Carmi, Big Doug McCray, y'all are my guys. I like you. I like you personally. Whenever we see each other at the games, it's all love. I've got pictures with both you dudes, big smiles on our faces, yada, yada, yada. And I understand that y'all are making big moves with the Big Doug and Carmi show. And I do like Big Doug and Carmi. But you guys, whew, you went and got Jay Gruden on your show. And I will say this, guys. Go check it out. As you can see here, Big Doug and Carmi yesterday. Jay Gruden was on there. Doing a lot of the wonderful revisionist history that he loves to engage in. No questions about Capri Bibbs. But nonetheless, I will say this. Go watch their show when you get a chance. Big Doug and George are really good at what they do. But this is the thing. If you watch the show, it's very straightforward, very nice with Jay, because Jay's shucks, he's just a good old boy from down south, Tennessee or wherever the hell they're from. I don't even know where the hell they're from. Really don't care that much. From Kentucky, I guess, because of Louisville connection. But yeah, I really liked Kirk, and I didn't know that Alex Smith was our new quarterback till after the trade. I wasn't involved at all. You hear this a lot with Jay. No one ever asked Jay, how come you're always caught being the last one to know? I don't like Jay Gruden. Never have liked Jay Gruden. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I used to defend the guy. Hard. People wanted him fired after that 8-7-1 season in 2016. And I kept telling people, hey, it's the first time we've gone back-to-back winning seasons in 20 years. Let's be cool. But ever since then, it's been like, nah, F Jay Gruden. And Steve and Dev and I were talking about this in our private little chat. And Steve would like to have Jay Gruden on. If someone could relay this to Jay Gruden. Jay, you have me blocked on Twitter, which I guess means nothing at this point. But you have me blocked. You don't like me. You don't like some of the things I've said at you. I don't particularly like you. I would be more than willing to completely sit out an episode of the podcast and let Steve play it straight. Let Dev rah you, because he's a Louisville fan. You're a former Louisville quarterback. Hey, L1C4, whatever. I'm putting this out there now. I would sit out. I will gracefully step aside. But you bet your ass that I would do another one of these live streams and just live react to that entire podcast. That's completely separate. But I, out of respect and deference to my co-hosts, I would certainly take that step aside. So if y'all want to help get some visibility here, no one ever thought you'd see Jay Gruden on this podcast, especially with me as a co-host. I will gracefully not be there because I'm not going to be the guy that because I personally don't like someone and have said some flagrantly correct words to them that I'm going to hurt my co-host's ability to speak to people they want to speak to. So I would certainly step aside for that one. I just do one of these Philstreams a couple days later and be like, all right, we're going to watch an episode of Command This, and I'm going to react to all of Jay Gruden's bullshit. But I really wish he had the balls to sit there and have that conversation one-on-one with me. For me to ask him these questions, because either he cops to what we believe is true, or he can refute it. Take a chance, man. Hey, if you're feeling froggy, if you want to do it that way, just go with me one-on-one. It will be a short interview. I just got a handful of questions I gotta ask. And if you want to, get into a pit with a fellow bulldog, well, we do that too. But I have no problem with that either way. But nonetheless, go watch Big Doug and George with their interview with Jay Gruden. It is a very good show, despite Gruden's presence on it. But Big Doug and George doing what they always do, and they do it very well. Mad props and respect to them for getting such a big guest and doing such a wonderful job with their show. So I got nothing but love for them. Everybody who watches this show already knows my thoughts of our guy Jay Gruden, former head coach. Now, Steve popping in says that he saw a joke that Eric Bieniemy is going to a high school next. Is it bad that I would question how well he would do with a high school? Is it bad that I question that? Nonetheless, is it bad that I would question that? I don't know. Anyway, so now we've talked a little football. This has been an interesting year in music. It's been we've had a huge beef that has lingered over the state of hip hop music, as you know, Kendrick Lamar and Drake. You can tell whose side I'm on in that one, right there. The man's going to be at the Super Bowl performing at halftime, Mr. Kendrick Lamar Duckworth. That is right now. I think he came out with a surprise album drop a week and a half ago, I believe it was now, a week ago. I sat down and listened to it. Probably my favorite album of the year. And I was worried that it wouldn't be, because I was worried it was going to, we're going to get too in depth, because Kendrick can be dense at times. His stuff can be real heavy. But I was very happy with how that record came out. He balanced out a lot of the more introspective stuff, a lot of the heavier stuff, and even he even got the turn up going a few times. All right, it really felt more like this GNX album felt more like Damn than it did feeling like Mr. Morale. Mr. Morale was that one took a while for me to digest. That was a heavy piece of work, heavy piece of art. And it was art more than anything else. In the meantime, so Kendrick's going to be performing at the Super Bowl. Drake decided he's going to announce the start of his world tour. Is going to be on Super Bowl Sunday. And you think, ooh, bold move. Except he's doing it in Australia. He has to run around the world to get away from Kendrick. And who do you announce that with? So Drake, this is interesting. Drake announced his world tour starting in Australia on a live stream with XQC. XQC is a big time live streamer, gamer, Canadian dude, French Canadian, who you can't understand half the time because he's got an incredibly thick accent. But I thought that was interesting. It's like Drake's now trying to use streamers, not named Kai Cenat, for a little clout and a little boost. And he's doing it homegrown. He's going with a Canadian guy. So I thought that was interesting. But I think that, and again, he's trying to copy Kendrick's formula in a way. Kendrick Lamar took the copyrights off of Not Like Us so that all the streamers and reactors could just keep playing it over and over and over. You saw it in the music breaks of NBA games over and over and over, right? And I think that there's going to be a greater collaboration, or at least more olive branches, between artists and athletes and run-of-the-mill streamers, not even like legacy media types, but people like, like an XQC, like a, like a Kai Cenat. But it's even going to go smaller than that eventually. And I think you're going to see more direct connections between, I don't know, rappers and rock bands and athletes and people like me, even, hopefully. So I think that you're going to be seeing a further blending and use of social media types, streamers, podcasters. And I mean, hell, if you want to know how important podcasters and live streamers are to the current climate, look no further than the fact that the current president and vice president elect both did separate 3-hour interviews with Joe Rogan. 10 years ago, you wouldn't have thought that would be possible. 20 years ago, that's not even a thing. All right. So I do think it's nice to see that the new media is becoming the media, right? You got Drake on streams with XQC. Every rapper in the world's gone down to see Kai Cenat. So I just think that it's cool to see this blending, this positive synergy between streamers and podcasters and established athletes and rappers and so forth, politicians, all that. So this would be cool to see. Phil Bullock. What's up, Big Phil? What's up, Big Phil? We're just hanging out tonight. We're gonna keep it cool because it is the damn bye week and we got nothing going on here. But nonetheless, as you may know, I have a strange love and fascination for late 90s, early 2000s hip hop and the state of everything. Because that's when I first was really outside. And the internet was great because if you knew where to look, you could catch a lot of cool stuff. So I actually found, and credit to the guy who pieced this together. And I'm not going to play the whole thing, but let's go back to about late 2001. Rockefeller Records, Jay-Z are embroiled in a massive feud with Nas. But Beanie Siegel and State Property are embroiled in a feud with the Locks and D-Block. And to me, that one actually had more legs because there's just, you never knew it was coming. It was constantly dudes. Phil Bullock says late 2000s to early 2000s. late 90s, early 2000s. That's me. I'm old, okay? I'm old. I was an early adopter of the internet and streaming and finding clips on, like, I go back to the real player days. Okay. I go back to finding clips on people's websites and like these poor audio quality, but listening to like, and I'm gonna play some of it here, like these freestyles that got videotaped and audio recordings that got posted from different radio stations and such. Phil Fox says he's with me, Brody. You know it. You know it. And if you knew where to look, you could find it. You knew how to search. Google was not as great as it is now in terms of optimizing everything. But nonetheless, so a little backstory before I play this. So the whole locks and state property thing, Jada, and really the cornerstone of it all is Jadakiss versus Beanie Siegel. Two guys who I really put very neck and neck in terms of if I were to rank my favorite rappers of all time, those two be very close to each other. And what happened was that Jada had a little beef with Jay-Z because Jada was on The Best of Me, Maya song. And then all of a sudden, here comes a remix, and Jay-Z's in the video, not Jada. And then Jada was going to be on a remix. It was on Fiesta with R. Kelly. And all of a sudden, time for a video. Oh, we have a Fiesta remix with Jay-Z. And there was some thought of like, what's Jay doing? Why does he keep getting on these Jada songs when it's time for a video? Right? So then now Jada's got a little bit of a problem with The Rock, with Jay-Z. But then Beanie's like, let me get at him. And now you got Philly versus Yonkers. And what people don't know is that the dudes from State Property were street cats. So were dudes from D Block. There were dudes from Philly up at Rikers Island in the same prison as dudes from D Block. They'd have D Block tattoos and all that. And there was fights breaking out in prison over this damn beef. And Jada wanted to keep it going forever because he's like, put these mixtapes out, we're making money. I can't do that shit. But you can imagine. You can imagine how Jada would be about that. Phil Box, that was a tough battle, but good music. It was great music. So one of the biggest moments is at Powerhouse in Philly. Both Beans and Jada, separate points in the night, started freestyling and spitting verses at each other. And I found them. And shout out to this dude Todd Hills on YouTube. He has a whole deal of all the different freestyles and such, right? So first it was I'll find this if I can get it, because I'm trying to get the live deal. But I want to play these back to back. Now imagine you hear these both at the same time. And actually, Beanie came first. I'm gonna play this video for you. And I saw this, I was like, I really wanted to discuss this with the guys. See, Phil Bullock knows Cosmic Kev was the guy in the Philly radio station. You know what I'm talking about. All right. A lot of these young cats don't know. Or us old heads, we get old and we forget things. But let me play this. This is going to be first. Beans got up there, and this Jada. This is at Power 99. It's at Powerhouse. Let me get this full screened.
Never will stop. SKs with triple-digit shots. I empty cans of triple blocks. I make sure he won't make a nickel on his block. Flashbacks in 94, I'm looking at the cops. It's not here. I'm back in the streets, I'm back at it. Put him to sleep, fold him up like a craft matted. Hitting with heat, hold him up with this black matted. Showing what my Ruger do, remove his boot. Or showing what a Mac could do, with a tap or two. Fuck up his day with a K or two. I give a nigga 80 bars and he's still talking. 40 shots are giving 80 scars, said that he's still walking. Little pup still barking, put a muzzle on him. HK MP5 with the muzzle on him. Loud boy, catch me out without nothing on him. Backseat, I clap out the bed, I'm still fronting on him. I don't know why niggas fronting on me. I keep something on me. Gotta knock off something on him. I got gas that'll shake up the cops. Set up car alarms, pick up the block. Bring a bomb squad, I take it to SWAT. He got me out my thing, breaking a lot.
Pause here. Notice this is not an actual freestyle. This is State Property wrote all their stuff together. Beans was the head dude, but you know, Neef and Chris and O Sparks and all them, they all wrote together, right? They all know each other's lines. But Beanie had such a great flow, he can make it sound like it was completely off the top of the dome, right? That's what the best freestylers do. They pre-write it. They got the pen, they keep it up here, but they spit it like it sounds like they're making it up on the spot. And that's that's just true MC work. Beanie, it's a shame that he came into the Rock a couple years too late. Had he been signed a couple years earlier, I think his career would have had that, and he did federal time. But maybe he doesn't. But I always thought Beanie Siegel was significantly underrated.
Stuff for long, scheming niggas a lot. I'm thinking about raping his mom and making him watch. I'm taking my time, I'm making him watch. I'm taking his time, I'm taking his watch. I'm taking his grind, putting 5 dates on his block. He a bitch without the pocketbook and a wig. How you talk that pop shit when you roll with big? Hey!
How you talk that pop shit when you roll with big? See. And he doesn't even necessarily have to, say Jada's name. You know who he's talking about. That's the art of battling.
I thought you blew trees with him, pushed bees with him. Couldn't wait to go on tour and cross seas with him. I mentioned a law name again, he's dead. I cut off his arm, leg, upper arm and head. Bring your hand to his block like a Osama bin Laden. C4 in the back of the wagon. Clapping the magnum. I rock his whole block with a bomb. What do you say? Being a hard knock life, take hugging my mom. I got a long cock to the nugget's mom. I blow a fucking face off. Let's fucking face off. Knock her eyesight, hearing since you smelling taste salt. Whoa.
Bars. Bars. Come on, y'all. You gotta respect this. I know we got a lot of hip hop heads in our audience. You gotta respect that. That was a great series of battle bars right there.
I do this like I do it for free. BET or MTV, we can call Don King. Get it done right, dog, on PPD. Pay-per-view, nigga bring a gauge or two. Let's have a steel gauge match, a steel cage match. It's a man's world, and this the big payback. Even on some girl shit, I can tell from way back. Probably his grind or where he lay at. And he's still in the basement of his mother house. And I ain't mentioned my basement bigger than his mother house. And I ain't talking about my sister house, brother house, mother house. Yo, I'm talking about the other house. He need to cop. He only copping.
You catch that? Y'all catch that, right? That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Battle bars. He's bragging about his other house the basement in his other house is bigger than Jada's mama's house. Come on. Gotta love it. You gotta love it. This is hip hop, y'all.
It's wrong. I own a Bentley brick. I caught them shit from my mom. Looking here. Why the nigga took it there? I earned my spot. Jane had to put me here. I burn his block. Gasoline sitting in the air to burn the block. 33 sitting in there. Now picture if I splatter his man. She could be happy, Pia be sad. She could be happy, Pia be glad. He can get off his shit. He can get off his. And if you want to kiss dick, get kissed dick. Yeah. His ring on the top, be short like leprechaun. As I crush his weak whack flow like Capadons. I get in his.
Hey, wanna know why Capadonna took a shot there? What did Capadonna do? I never knew that one. I always wondered why that. Right, he was calling Kiss broke. But I never understood why. Like, why are we taking shots at Capadonna? What'd he do? except sign late to Wu-Tang.
His ass, whoa, still fast on Ramadan, still rock his bells like Ramadan. Yeah. I don't do much, yo. Y'all already know that shit.
We gotta go back to
yo, it's DJ K Slay from around the way, the drama king. I only respect a few DJs out here, man. Y'all niggas know who y'all is. But for the rest of y'all faggots, Just Those Mixtape Awards, November 27th. Show up, motherfuckers. What?
Real shit, yeah. That's when my coke come in. They gotta use the scale that they weigh the wheels. Cost is on the seat. Yeah, I ain't ready for that.
Powerhouse too.
Cut that shit out, yo. Y'all ready for that? Make some motherfucking noise.
Make some noise.
In Philly.
Hold up, Rock. I gotta do my shit. You know, it's a lot of talk. Everybody saying this and that.
Motherfucking know,
But you know, check it out. I'll give all of y'all a few in the dome. So when you see me, think about a funeral home. A lot of niggas get fed to the crabs. And yeah, I'm a boss. 4 hoes give me head in the bag. Pound of weed is like a medicine bag. I look at my son different. Gun spitting, head in your back. Stand over the body, fire again. Send Siegel a wire, I'm riding again. We getting it on. Throw your man leg on the lawn.
You hear the crowd turn. Listen again. He makes that comment about send Siegel a wire. It took the crowd a second to catch what he did. But we'll listen to him start turning. And Jada later on said that his duck game got really good because he had to start ducking everything being thrown at him while he was spitting his verse. Oh, snap. Hold up. Almost lost my screen here.
Why I'm riding again. We getting it on. Throw your man leg on the lawn. He can't walk. Put your brother tongue in the mail. He can't talk. Kissing the ring or kissing the dirt. I'm in the back of the limo, lifting the skirt, ripping your earth, blowing weed in the Corona Deluxe. Phony niggas want to roll in the truck, but they don't know what was up. Fucking with killers, you fucking with squillers. I'm the prince of the hood. I'm the one who wrote the criminal pillars. Let's go.
Let's go, Rob.
Fuck that.
Oh my goodness, I screwed up my own live stream. Oh man, this is what happens when you try to do everything with one. You don't have 2 screens. I'm only doing it with one. I screwed it all up for a second. But nonetheless, he went to We Gonna Make It and everybody like it. What happened to me? I'm a terrible terrible at what I do here sometimes. But nonetheless, Hopefully we got this back on track. Let me see here. We live on everything. We back. But nonetheless, see, that's the kind of stuff that I personally like. I go back and listen to, and it's like it takes me back. It takes me back to a different time, when this stuff it didn't come out instantly and wasn't all over the internet. You had to go find it, right? You didn't have everything wasn't geared towards YouTube and Spotify and all that. It was you had to go find some site where somebody got some bootleg copy of whatever and they put it up there online, or they got a video like that one they put up online. You got that poor quality. It kind of looked a lot like the Tyson Jake Paul fight undercard at times. The visual quality was terrible, but you definitely were all over that as well. But yeah, that was that was definitely some fantastic times. Fantastic times. Then there's probably they went to when State Property went to Hot 97, right? And they did it was like a half hour of nothing but just dissing. And half hour of it's crazy to listen to that, but you kind of get a flavor of it right here. As soon as I can learn how to produce. I'll get it up for y'all. And I ain't gonna play too much of this, but you'll get an idea of. You listen to how young Chris is accenting all these bars. That's how they all know him. All those guys at State Property there, they know everything that's coming out here.
Yeah, get to it. Yeah. Flat out, ain't no stand up, man. Everybody, get your tapes ready, man. We need some talk behind the music, man. I need some volume in my headphones. I need a little volume in my headphones, man. Yeah, they really is, man. But I got something fresh for y'all. Yeah. Fresh off the state. Y'all. We got a special delivery. Holla. Yeah. Y'all mean to all y'all faggots out there talking shit. It's whatever. Ain't no talking it out. It's too late. It's whatever, man. I'm gonna do this like this. Let me do it. Let me suck this off. Let me do this like this, man. Yo. Who the wanna what? You little chumps better double up. I'm about to make some couple cats, I sit them closer to God. I kill kids one style. About to focus on Nas, Nasir Jones, Plato Nick. What I look like? Afraid old nigga? See through you like glass. Trying to kill 4 birds with one stone by breaking a rock in half. Do the math. You get it later. I do your ass. Probably get it later. I don't look that far in the future. I dwell on the present.
Imagine you tune in to like Hot 97 and this is what's going on. You don't get this anymore. You don't get this, that wonderful surprise. You just don't get it like this anymore. And that's what's crazy. Phil Bullock says he thinks this was the best battle of all time. I don't know if it's the best. It's probably one of the most evenly matched. Because you got Cruz, right? And you got 2 real gutter dudes on either side between Jada and Beans. And I think that that's what made it so great. That and there were a lot of real consequences. I said motherfuckers were getting beat up in Rikers Island over this beef. Like late 2001, early 2002, this thing was hot. All over.
In the past, I handle drama when it come to my path. I'm like Simon on the president ass. You illmatic, got the medicine bag, and I'm the doctor, make the house visit. From the 44D with the howls in it. You got to bang it from across in the crouch position. Yeah.
By the way, he's taking shots at Nas on Jay's behalf in this as well, right? Because they got it. It got cool after Nas came out with Ether. It got cool for a minute to just hate on The Rock. And somebody had to squat up and these are the soldiers. These are soldiers going into battle.
Don't you know I'm gut? I kidnap kids, pin them in their ass, throw them over the bridge, and hit them raw with a pop condom. Stick sword with the beam at .com. You better log on. I get my guests internet. I got STs and the text. Take it to any sex. Kevlar with the full armor on your ass like a jets on Pearl Harbor. What you new round here? Y'all know what we do round here. We bout the dog food down here. Animals with them tools round here. You from Queens and you ain't got a clue round here. Listen, baby boy, I'm like Melvin, got your mother. Right, niggas right, Melvin in the butter and the grits is.
Anyway, so that's what I'm saying. That this is the kind of stuff I go back and listen to all the time. Like when I found somebody had put like all the freestyles that you can find online, plus some interviews, some like retrospective interviews by Beans and Kiss online. I was like, oh yeah, put that all in one playlist for me. Make my life easier. I'm telling y'all, if y'all were outside that time, or if you respect those of us who were, you're a little younger, you weren't around for that, it's great. You can go back and check it out. Go for it. But anyway, I've been on here about an hour, and it's been kind of a slow week. Right now, we got one game going on, and it's Packers and Lions. Right now, they're less than 2 minutes left in the first half. Lions are up 10-7 on the Packers. If you're a Washington fan, you're probably rooting for the Lions right now. But it's still anyone's game at this point. Lions do have the ball at the Green Bay 15, 2nd and 7, looking to score. If they can go up here, that'd be big for them. But nonetheless, kind of looking at this game. Let's see if I can get some stats up here. For those of you who have fantasy interest in this game, Jordan Love, not off to a great start. 3 of 7, 31 yards. Josh Jacobs, though, 9 carries, 49 yards. So they're getting some traction on the ground. Lions definitely doing it more through the air. Jared Goff is 12 of 18 for 118 yards. David Montgomery, 5 carries for 30 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 8 for 14. He's killing me, Smalls. I got Jahmyr Gibbs in my fantasy team. But I also got Jared Goff going this week in a different fantasy league because Jaden Daniels is on the bench. So that is your current update right now. So anyway, I know I screwed up the stream because I disappeared, came back, and all of a sudden all my viewers are gone. I guess I went dark for a minute, and then everybody said, oh, Phil checked out. But nonetheless, I think Dev is spending the rest of the evening with his newborn granddaughter. Again, congratulations to Dev. He's got, like I said, if you weren't here earlier, Dev's got a newborn granddaughter, was born today, has a full head of hair, goes, already has hair like about the length of her back. That's what Dev said at least. And then Steve is traveling for work right now. So what we'll do is we will be back Monday. We're going to do a barbershop pod, right? Again, it's going to be free flowing. We're not going to be talking X's and O's or anything like that. We'll talk a little football, but we're gonna do what we do. We're gonna talk music. We're talking movies. I got a fun little topic that I'm going to bring to the table that's related to the Washington Commanders, for sure, but it's not going to be related to necessarily this season. But nonetheless, I always enjoy doing this right here. I wish I hadn't screwed up my presence on the stream because I think that did kill the end of it here, unfortunately. So we lost some momentum. We had some people in the chat. We had people watching, and it went away. But you know what? That's because I am a terrible producer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this stream with a little turn up music. So I'm going to get us going here. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I'll be in Pittsburgh. And I will see you guys on Monday.
We about to turn it on. We about to turn it on. Turn it. We about to turn it on. 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 We about to turn it on.
Beat drop. Again, we'll see you on Monday for the barbershop. And as Steve always says, and I always hear it, peace. Hell. I'm out.